All right, everybody. Hello. Hello. Welcome to Do All the Things, the GDQ Hotfix show where we show off 100% speedruns as well as runs where we do or collect all of something in a game. Like, in this case, we got today some all levels runs, some all collectibles runs, and just a straight 100% run to show you. With the whole caveat of all that being that every run shown off today is on the PlayStation 1, funny enough. Which is awesome, honestly. It's a very great console, to say the least. Y'all know all about it. You've heard of the PS1 before. It's pretty cool. I like it personally. Didn't have it growing up, but I always liked the aesthetic of it personally. I grew up with the N64, actually, funny enough, so like same console generation and all that. But yeah, one of my favorite we have one of my favorite games to start off as well too. Klonoa. I played the remake of it last year and became one of my favorite games ever after I did that. And actually ran at the last GDQ as well. It was really awesome. For now, I think we should get into it. Hello, Moser. How you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing great. I am very excited to show off this run of Klonoa Door to Phantomile All Visions. And what that means is, actually, I'm going to get right into it. We're starting from the level select for reasons that I'll explain in a moment. But I'm going to start Vision 1-1 right now while I explain kind of what the category is. So what All Visions is like Shasta mentioned, sort of a 100% category, not precisely that. There are actually 200% categories in this game, one of which requires collecting all of the green gems that you see laying around, but for various reasons that is not marathon safe at all. So this is, instead, we're going to be collecting all of the Phantomilions. They are not actually called Visions, although some of the runners do refer to them that way for convenience sake. But what we're really collecting are, in these various bubbles with weird symbols in them, are prisoners of Gadius. He has captured the various citizens of Phantomile, which is where the game takes place. And so our job here is to rescue all of them. There are 6 of them in every level, and the levels are actually what are called visions. So there are 6 visions as well, and when you collect all of the Phantomilians, or rescue them, I should say, you unlock the extra vision. And so that's why this is called All Visions, because it's the category that actually plays all of the visions. So essentially, there's a trick jump you can do. Oops, sorry.
Essentially, this is an all levels, all friends run, right? Basically.
Precisely, yeah.
Heck yeah.
And there's a little trick jump I tried to do there with that gondola. If you jump off it on the way down, you can grab the Phantomilion a little bit earlier. It looks like it should be really easy, but unfortunately the way the animation works, there's a very high chance that your jump will just get dropped when you try and jump off that. Fortunately, it's one of the only situations like that in the game. Other than that, jumping in this game is extremely reliable. So I just played that a little bit safe and caught it on the next cycle going up. So we just collected all 6 of them in the very first level, and now things start to get weird. So that was all just kind of pretty straightforward optimized movement. Here we're going to try and squeeze this enemy past this barrier just like that, so that we can sequence break and grab that Phantomilion a little bit early. And the way that sort of works is we actually had to do little one-frame taps to make it through that barrier. And the reason for that is the game handles collision in a slightly weird way when you're holding an enemy, or more accurately, it's the collision with the enemy itself. So if you do a one-frame direction change, it can actually push you out of bounds the wrong way, because it essentially evaluates the collision for the enemy a frame late. So if you're facing into the wall, and then for one frame, it tries to push you in bounds, but if you've already turned right by the time that happens, it will push you further out of bounds. And we're going to be abusing that quite a bit in this run. Going to definitely grab that safety checkpoint, but I'm delaying it until after I collect this Phantomilion, because they are not preserved after you die. And there is a very good chance that I'm going to die soon. So I want to get that checkpoint as late as possible. So what I'm going to do now is attempt a trick that's known as an ultra jump. And what that really is a vertical position storage glitch that only works in some very specific wind currents. one of which we're about to see. So what we want to do here is, when we're moving up in the wind current, grab that enemy, re-grab that enemy, which you normally can't do, period. And then have to line this positioning up just right. Then we're going to fall out of bounds, clip through the wall, fall out of bounds, snipe that egg. That was absolutely perfect.
Whoa.
That never goes that well. So that was really nice to see.
Nice.
And now, because we collected that much earlier than we intended to, we're going to collect one more bubble right at the end. But other than that, now we're just doing the any percent. Normally, we'd have to do a fairly sizable detour that we just completely skipped by doing that really cool looking out of bounds. So obviously, the vertical position storage, that was what teleported us back up after we did the trick. By the way, what we are looking for to make sure we are actually completing the run is the indicator on the bottom right next to the left of the 45. We see that all filled in gold. Now, I actually messed this up a little bit. I'm going to play this safe. We see that's all filled in gold right now. There's just 6 blocks there. We want to see all of those get filled in. And that's going to be our indication that we've actually rescued all 6 Phantomilians. If we get to the end of the level and have missed one and can't backtrack, that basically means we have to redo the level. I am just going to pretend that I collected it, and then depending on how we're doing relative to the estimate, I will replay that level at the end.
Someone who's like primarily seen the remake of this game, it's really interesting seeing all the different differences here, like even little stuff. Like
yeah, there are
like the overworld, like it's so much different from like the remake entirely.
Yeah, it's nice. They did preserve some of the little pixel art in the remake, which I thought was really cool, but it's definitely presented in a very, very different way. Oops, that's actually kind of unfortunate.
Like, you know how the Phantomilians are like displaying pixel art at least on the overworld screen in the remake too?
Yeah, it's exactly. So cool. That's more like it.
Oh,
had
nice. I haven't seen that
go
guy.
back and retry that because I threw the enemy the wrong way, which can happen. And unfortunately, the camera is throws into the foreground and background in this game are actually camera dependent. So I had to do a bit of a weird and awkward backtrack there in order to make the camera set up so that I could actually make the throw. Otherwise, I'd have kind of had to YOLO it, which usually doesn't work out, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a cool thing about Klonoa is that it's both like stuff in the background is also very relevant to the foreground a lot of the time because it's got that 2.5D stuff going on. Also, nice clip.
Yep, just did a nice frame perfect drawer clip. That's frame perfect because you need to do the 1 frame direction change at the exact frame that you intersect the door frame because you have to jump into that. As far as frame perfect tricks go, it's not an overwhelmingly difficult one, but this is one of the rare PlayStation 1 games that runs at 60 frames per second, which definitely means that the frame perfect tricks we see in this game are really frame perfect, which can be a little intimidating. And there's some that I may not go for that reason.
No kidding, wow. What do I expect given the animation I'm seeing? That looks a lot more like 20 or 30 FPS.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Well, I'm hoping that's not a technical issue, but yeah, it's definitely 60 FPS. All right, gotta focus a little bit here.
Oh, yeah,
so that's the intended jump I just did to get up there, but it's actually terrible. It's very easy to miss. Now I'm going to do the world's easiest wall clip. There's a slightly faster cycle you can do, but I'm going to do this a nice, easy way. You can do this one at home. Just hold forward and this drum pushes you into the wall, and you can just snipe that Phantomile just like that.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, those green drums that bounce around have tons of weird behaviors associated with them. When you hit the base of them, they knock you backwards, as if you got hit, but they play a different sound and you don't flash. However, they secretly do give you the invincibility frames that you normally get when you get hit. So you can then, if you get hit by one, you can phase through enemies, which is really cool. Not useful at all in any of the categories, but still a cool bit of trivia. All right, another camera manipulation I'm doing there, so I can snipe that one in the foreground, skip a big section where you have to bounce on a thing.
Even like right here, like Klonoa's just kind of running on the wire, funnily enough. I know the remake, he like slips on his butt a little bit. It's very charming. So it's all the little things in games like this. It really is.
All right, here's a really annoying wall clip. That'll do.
Nice.
That one you can do on... So, I should start off by saying I sort of lied. This is not strictly speaking the PS1 version. This is a direct port that was released on the NAM collection, which is a 50th anniversary Namco collection of 6 games, of which Klonoa is, of course, one of them. It is exactly the same as the PS1 original, with a couple extremely minor behavioral differences. There's one glitch in one of the bosses that we will hopefully be able to exploit to save half a second. And then some of the wall clips work a tiny little bit differently for very unclear reasons. Oops. Oh, this boss is actually very intense, by the way. We're trying to do a lot of unintended grabs. We're basically using Seedoff, who is the king of the Water Kingdom, to throw at... Whoops, I totally whiffed on that. To throw at Pamela, who is this fish, to break a curse. And so Seedoff functions just like the enemies in the game, except that obviously the enemies pop, Seedoff does not, when you throw him, because that would make for a very disappointing story if you immediately destroyed the person you were trying to save. All right, so now we have Vision 3-1. This is a very notorious level with a lot of tricks. I'm going to go for a very difficult trick jump that will not work, but I have to go for it just in case.
I believe. You got this.
It's also a very difficult cycle I'm going for here. These gondolas are actually on a frame rule. Every 2 seconds they check if you're on them and then they take off. Just like
a bus?
Just like any other game with frame rules, like Mario. So we're trying to catch. There's most of the optimal cycles, or at least human optimal cycles, are pretty free, except the one I just missed, which requires really tight movement. And unfortunately, my double jump at the end there was a little too safe, so we had to wait 2 seconds for that gondola to depart. Fortunately, it's no big deal. We will catch probably optimal cycles for all of the other ones from here on out. Hardly anyone even goes for that cycle because you have to basically play perfectly to make that work. All right, gonna do a special grab on that enemy, clip right through that door. That's one of the rare doors that, or not one of the rare, it's one of the about half of the doors that doesn't have a loading zone behind it. So I did need to grab the key, but we still do have a way to clip through it, which is really cool. That's a slightly different clip than we normally do, where you do a special grab on the enemy. And I'll explain that in a moment. I have to do a very difficult door clip now here, which is one of the more traditional door clips. And one of the, whoops, gonna go way over there instead. One of the hardest ones. No, not quite. Come on. Getting my 2-frame inputs, but I'm not. There we go. Wasn't quite positioning myself correctly, but we got through it.
Nice, nice.
Oh, here's a cool little cycle here. Shoot that guy. Shoot it again. Grab that guy before he becomes invincible. This is a classic trick from. This used to be the any % route here before we discovered wall clips, but in this case, I'm going to use it to bring an enemy past that barrier. I sort of whiffed there, so I need to do this. I need to back this up by doing that. There we go. Need to break that guy early for reasons you'll see in just a moment. It's so I can break this flower and then break the egg. So it's really cool. This category brings back some old any % strats from the before time. Another door clip there. That one went much better than the last one.
I honestly love categories like this. I just like take a lot of what we're doing 8% and just do a lot more on top of that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really fun. I love stuff like this so much.
Yeah. There's one trick that this doesn't require, but other than that, it's pretty much all the hardest any % tricks plus a bunch more craziness.
Like I did like when I was playing Warrior 4 a lot, I ran a category called All Diamonds that I ran myself, and it's just like you're just going through more of the levels, but also doing the same 8% thing. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I like this. Yeah, this was routed by this category is routed by Elsa's, Balneor, and myself. Oh, and here's a really difficult trick jump. I'm gonna try. Oh, not quite. Through too early. So I was trying to snipe that switch in the background with that really crazy jump I just did. Almost worked, but I threw the enemy a little early, unfortunately, so it didn't quite work out. So we're just going to have to do this the intended way.
I saw the vision, though. It was going to be really cool.
Yeah, that's another one it's barely humanly viable at this point. None of the any % world records have had that in it yet, and it's totally doable. There was one world record in this category that I had a while ago that had it in, and for now that's it so far. So someone's gonna hit that. It saves a lot of time, like 15 seconds, but not enough that it's a run killer. Because there's a lot of RNG that happens toward the end of the game. So now I'm going to explain the weird kind of door clip that I promised I would explain in a bit, because I just set it up again. So what I did there is I grabbed that enemy in a way that I was shooting and double jumping, which normally the game assumes that you want to double jump, so it just buffers your double jump until you're done grabbing the enemy that you're in the process of grabbing, which is very nice. But I timed that in a very, very precise way so that I landed on the ground while I was doing the grab. And because it's trying to buffer your double jump, but I'm not jumping, the double jump just doesn't fire off. So if we did it right, the double jump's just hanging out. I'm gonna grab this enemy without jumping, and then it's going to clip me through the door because the double jump fires off as soon as the door animation starts playing. So we just saved about 4 seconds by clipping through the door rather than waiting for it to swing open, because normally that just makes you lose control of Klonoa.
That's so cool. See, I have a cool thing about, like... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I am notorious for forgetting to rescue Phantomilions in this level, so I'm going to try very hard to focus. So yes, it would be awesome if you had a few things to say during that.
You got this, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm like this, I'm sorry, no.
Shouldn't have interrupted, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You're the runner, you got stuff to say, it's okay. Trying to recall now. Oh no. was remembering that like that jump you tried to do earlier, like with the gondola and stuff. How like you can kind of just do that bits a lot more easily in the remake because of the support jump feature in that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's funny, they patched out a few tricks, but then yeah, definitely made some oversights with how the support jump allows you to sequence break.
It's ridiculous to say the least, but so cool. Kind of like the same like Sora dealio in mind right there, but like differently. I guess it works differently. I guess.
I am. I technically had an opportunity to save a few seconds by clipping an enemy into this area too. There's a whole interesting backstory behind that and why you can't, in any percent, use that trick to skip the whole level. But that is a story for another day, probably. But in this case, you can, and in any percent, you can totally do it to skip that animation. Which saves about 7 seconds, but I am in the process of learning a new setup for doing that, and so now I'm bad at both versions, the way I used to do it and the new way. So since it's only a few seconds, I decided I would just skip out on that.
I was going to play it safely for sure.
Yeah. And coming up, we have probably the most annoying boss to play fast. So we will see how this goes. I actually recently discovered a new little trick to this that is specific to this PS2 port. Anyway, I'm gonna focus a bit now, though.
Yeah, I'm with you on this boss being a little tricky, just because like I remember like it's one of those bosses that if you fail, you lose like a lot of time, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and in this, I missed. Okay, that's fine. In this category, there's or I should say, in this version, there's a lot of really weird, sequence breaks and stuff we do here. So I'm gonna still try and do the. All right, this should work. Nice. Okay. Nice. So we lost a little bit of time, but not much at all. That was actually a pretty good fight there. And that last hit I did, that was the new discovery, which was really cool to show off. There's another way that we used to do it that's basically as fast, but that saves another second or so, which is cool to show off. In this category, we don't do any wall clips in this stage, but it is still probably one of the hardest to do perfectly. Gonna start off by doing a little sequence break here. We're gonna do a left to, whoops. Wait. We're gonna do a left to right order here, which as you can see, that jump looked a little weird. Probably not what the game wants you to do, but who can say?
It looked intended to me just a little bit. So.
Yeah.
we'll say that's intended.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, given the stuff you do later on in the run, like with especially with like Baloo's Tower, like who's to really say, I guess?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and here's a very notorious trick I'm going to do. Unfortunately, this doesn't save nearly as much time in this category, and I will show you why in just a moment.
That's because of Phantomile, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, not quite. I was a little early. That's fine. We will just go ahead and do it this way. Nice.
That's so cool. Yeah, there's one right there. Oh no. There's one
Yeah,
back there too? Oh no. You're so right.
Believe it or not, this still saves time.
That's good. That's good.
And here's the worst part. There is nothing you can do to cheese that cycle. We just have to wait for this to swing back.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. That could have been really bad. If you fall all the way back down, that's pretty much run dead.
That is so cool they can do that in this though.
Oops. Now all of a sudden you are coming through my microphone. Your audio.
Oh no.
Is it picking up? Because I might have to do something about that.
No, it's fine right now on my end at least.
Okay. Cool. We're just gonna restart this level.
Cool.
Okay, it fixed itself. I'm not going to question it. That was very strange. I have never had that happen before. You were speaking through my microphone.
Technology's weird.
Yes. That was very exciting.
Racing is coming through stream, by the way. If we can do a quick pause for that.
Say that again?
Racing is coming through stream right now. If we can do a quick pause.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's coming through stream, did you say?
Apparently my audio through your microphone.
Oh, it should be okay now. Oh, good.
Cool.
Awesome. All right, let me know when I'm good to resume. Oh, are we good? Oh, okay, sure. All right, I think we're good now, so I'm gonna, just continue. Oops, that's not what I wanted. So here's another ultra jump. That's really cool, because it teleports you downwards in that case.
That's really sick.
Definitely not living up to the name of ultra jump in that case. But yeah, it's really cool. Teleports you down into that area, and then you can just, if you do it right inside the wall, you can just walk back out. So very, very cool.
Like an ultra flop in that case, or ultra drop maybe.
Yeah. Oops. I am almost out of health here, which is definitely not quite the situation I want. Should be okay.
I believe.
I was trying to do a fast grab on one of those enemies, and unfortunately it didn't quite work out. Oh gosh, okay. Oops, trying to do half an ultra jump here. Oh wow, having a bit of trouble with it though. There we go. So not actually doing the vertical position storage, but I am using the property of those wind currents that lets you re-grab an enemy, just to gain a bit of extra height. Probably didn't save any time in this case, but still cool to show off.
You're scaring me there. It's about health you had left.
Yeah, I know. Not going to damage boost there. Normally I damage boost there and save a couple seconds, but we're going to play safe. Which is nice. Now we have enough. We have enough health that we shouldn't need to take a tactical death at the beginning of the boss. This boss is not usually much of a threat at all. The only problem is the attacks and patterns are completely random, so you can get, unfortunately, a troll pattern that can make it essentially impossible to avoid taking damage. So it's always a little scary if you're down to one hit. But in this case, well, I shouldn't say anything before we're done. But in this case, we made quick work of the boss. Those crystals, by the way, can hit you on the way back after you kill the boss, which is a very unfortunate way to lose a run.
That's unfortunate, honestly. I didn't know I could do that.
All right, so now it's 5-1, which has not too... Well, yeah, no, there's scary stuff in 5-1. I was going to say it's not too scary, but there are definitely some run killers here. But we'll be fine because I'm going to get plenty of safety checkpoints.
I was gonna say, like, this is a longer level in general. There's probably something here.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one in the remake, too, as well.
Yeah. Gonna do a tiny little optimization here. Start that platform moving a little earlier, which lets us spawn this enemy in a little earlier and knock down this platform a little earlier. It's another one I had to take an extra bounce there to let the camera settle into place, because again, the foreground and background throws are camera dependent, so you do need to take that into account casually, because you're not going to be playing much faster than the camera catching up to you. It's never a problem, but in a speed run, the camera can absolutely mess you up if you don't know how to manipulate it properly. And you can do these orbs in any order. I usually do it in a different order every time. Normally I would grab that enemy and use it to double jump and save a few frames jumping off this, but I wanted that checkpoint. And the reason I want that checkpoint is because I'm going to clip through this wall. Whoops, or fall back. I was most of the way in and then I fell back out. There we go, perfect. Well, not perfect yet. Oh, come on. All right, there we go.
There it is, all right.
The problem with that is if you're not aware of that fire cycle, you will just get pushed into the lava, and that is an instant death. And without that checkpoint, you are losing minutes when that happens, because the last checkpoint we got was, I think, probably at the end of the red orb. There's a small advantage for doing blue or green last because they're closer to the door that you go out at the very end. So I'm going to do, for that reason, yellow now.
So you'll ride you personally my own runs. A pure coincidence at this point.
Yeah, because this is probably the first time I've done this order all week.
Oh no.
All right, there's one Phantomile down there. Just quick snipe it. Other than that, this is yellow is basically the same as any percent, so not too much going on here. Green, we do get to do a famous checkpoint snipe that shows up in any percent as well. No longer in the any percent task because there's a absurd out of bounds that we found that lets you skip that, which is really cool. Definitely getting that safety checkpoint. Started the platform earlier, so getting the checkpoint doesn't lose any time. There's two ways you can do this. I do it without jumping because it saves 1 second. Nice. Doing it without jumping also makes it a lot more precise, so I was actually a little worried that I was going to fail that. Yeah, one of the coolest tricks, and one of the first that was ever discovered. It's more than a year old, more than 10 years old. So that was a solid 5-1. That is exactly what we want to see. This is another one where I am notorious for missing Phantomilians right at the beginning. And there's also some really tight cycles, which is probably why I get distracted and miss them. So I'm going to focus a little bit here.
Yeah, this level is it's really cool because when you're outside like this, it changes from day to night, and when it comes nighttime, the enemies become invincible when that happens. So we gotta do really well up until a certain point, of course, before that happens. Like that, just turn right there, and invincible.
Yeah, I panic reset there. That's actually totally recoverable. I have no idea why I did that. There's other mistakes you can make that do require you to reset. That was definitely not one of them. That was just a weird strategic error, but it's fine. It only costs about 10 seconds.
You gotta show off the best strats. I get it.
Yeah.
I get you.
The worst thing is that's recoverable without losing any time. It doesn't look quite as cool if you do the backup, but it is totally just as fast. All right, now here's one I almost always forget, but you just want to go up here. This level, the way they're laid out is actually, at least to me, very counterintuitive, because there's basically 3 sections kind of interrupted by these magic light platforms. And all of them are in the first 2, and there's none in the last one, which is very disorienting to me. So we get 3 in the first 2 sections and 0 in the last one, instead of what you would expect, which is 2 in each. Or at least what I would expect.
Yeah, it's a little strange, considering that last section is also a lot larger, too.
Yeah. Nice, we are on the fast cycle here.
Stuff.
There's not too much going on here, just some kind of cool looking movement.
And also, sometimes it's all you need.
It's a little early on that grab.
Kind of like that one there, because like that one's a lot more puzzly than like some of the other fan mails we've seen so far.
Tried to play that risky, but didn't quite work out.
In general, a lot of these fan mails I've not seen in a long time, because like my first playthrough, I got all of them, but like I haven't done that.
Yeah, exactly. We now have okay, going back through that door intentionally to reset the cycle, and now we're going to be, and that's the way you normally do this stage. And now we're on a great cycle here.
Just as a turn in that time. Perfect.
Okay, and then here comes a little skip here. I'm going to clip through the, or not clip through, I'm going to clip a move through this gate. Just like that.
This third section really just doesn't get played in any run. This game does it.
Sorry, I'm having microphone problems again. Let me I'm going to actually have to probably make a change here. 1 second.
For sure. Let me know if there's anything I need to do, by the way.
Can you still hear me? All right.
Is it good now? Oh no. Maybe, yeah.
I should be audible now. I'm hoping you can still hear me.
I can hear you, yeah.
Oops, I'm not hearing you now. Hold on, let me set my output device.
Okay, we'll go break.
About this.
We'll be back in just a little bit. Just in time, too, for a tricky boss, to say the least.
Yep. I just did a nice little, very risky skip there that saves 1 second. I bounced off that fire instead of doing that the intended way. Apologies for the technical difficulties, by the way.
It happens. It's all good.
And yes, here's a absolutely terrible boss.
Good old Joker.
Whoops, well that was not ideal, but that's fine, that's only a second or two. So what you want to do normally, which I did not quite do successfully, is grab an enemy right before the night transition. And that makes it so that fewer enemies spawn. And if you grab an enemy so that you're in the process of grabbing it during the time when the enemies become invincible, you actually get the enemy through the night phase, which does not let you save any time. The only thing it accomplishes at all is it lets you do a double jump, which is not particularly useful, but it can absolutely save a run if you are low on health or falling into a pit. So it's nice when it happens. It's no big deal if it doesn't. We actually got a frame-perfect glitch there that freezes the boss in place, which in theory you can use to one-cycle the boss, which is a task-only strat, because it is, not only do you need that frame-perfect trick with no Q whatsoever, which is basically means you have a 1 in 60 chance of getting it, so it's a surprise you got it there, but you also need the enemies to spawn in favorable locations so that you can get 3 quick hits before the boss moves away. That was cool. That's really rare to see in runs. Enemy positions are not especially favorable here, but fortunately we're doing okay with our amount of health. So
thankfully pull it off there. The enemy was like in the worst position possible.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Because them being like between 2 blocks right there, especially if they're spawning in, it's just that's not good.
Oh, come on. Oops, I am in a little bit of danger here. We only need 1 more hit. Alright, we are through.
Nice.
That boss can go better than that, but that was just fine.
It can also go worse if things take longer, which is good that didn't happen.
It can go much worse. You can die on the very last hit, for example. And then you are losing a good 3 minutes if that happens. So that's what you don't want.
I think I've done that before, actually. Also, it's my favorite level in the game right here. I love this one so much.
Yep, and this in this category is going to get weird. So be ready for this.
I'm so ready.
So far, looking pretty normal, but here's when it gets weird. Rather than doing the blue path the intended way, we are going to take advantage of the fact that it actually is located right underneath us. So we're going to go out of, we're not going to go out of bounds, we're going to go out of bounds. There we go, out of bounds. Right to the end of the blue path.
Oh!
Snipe that Phantomile up there, and then finish the rest of it the usual way.
Oh, no kidding.
Oops. And that is just the beginning. I do need this heart. You will see why in just a moment.
You kind of like went around like the whole level immediately there in just one fell swoop.
Yep. Yeah, so that saved a bunch of time. We're almost done. You can see there's only 2 Phantomilions left. I need this backup heart now. I'm going to try not to lose any health here. And here comes one of the scariest skips. I can't guarantee this will work first try, but I'm going to show it off.
I believe.
Oops, well, that wasn't quite it. Yep, so I'm going to have to die and try it again. Oh, I'm stuck on the platform. Come on,
that's really cool. Just I see where you're going for there already.
You see where I'm going with this? Yeah. We're gonna give it another try. It barely saves enough time to be worth it, in truth. But got really lucky there. We broke the Phantomile with the enemy. And as you can see, those don't get preserved after you die. So you do have to remember to recollect them. That can be a really common mistake if you fail to recollect one of the Phantomilions after you've died. Yeah, try this one more time. Oh, not quite enough height. Okay, well,
Oh wow.
you see the idea. I'll show you where I clip onto it. So obviously you want to clear that pillar. I'm going to show you how little time that saves. If I can ever hit that. Alright. Gonna remember to actually grab this. And it's unfortunate because we have all but one of the Phantomilions already at this point. But there's just a really crazy thing to do.
Where's that pillow clip going to lead in the end?
I will show you. It's going to be very exciting. So the only time we're saving with that is this little traversal here. So it only saves like 10 seconds. So here is the pillar.
Oh, there it is.
Actually, that might have been the wrong pillar, but you get the idea. It might have been the one next to it. But yeah, so only saves 10 seconds, but it's a really cool trick to do.
I have a feeling at this point has something to do with this path right here. Very cool.
Yep. And the unfortunate thing here is with that trick, well, it's fortunate in this case, because now we don't have to worry, is you have no health when you're doing this whole section if you do the trick. Oops. So, for example, I would be dead now trying to do that wall clip if I was in a no health state. For some reason, that wall clip, there's just the way the camera works, that is really, really finicky. There's nothing particularly difficult about it, but it is definitely... the camera makes it almost impossible to judge when you're close enough to the wall to start clipping through. And at that point, that's the point where basically you have to go from making 2-frame taps to actually progress toward the wall to 1-frame taps to make it through the wall. So not being able to see when you're touching the wall makes that one a lot more annoying.
So do you not need to destroy all 4 of those color switches throughout the level there to actually get to the very end of the level in this case?
You do not, no, because fortunately squeezing an enemy out there the way I did, that was why I had to do that wall clip at the end. That allows you to get up onto the moving platforms without having to open the door that you normally use to walk up there. So only 6 left to collect. We are actually...
Almost there.
Very near the end, yeah.
Almost got all the friends.
I am going to grab a safety checkpoint coming up here, because this sequence break can be a big problem if it doesn't work out. Assuming I get it. I'm having a bit of trouble actually clipping into the wall here. There we go. If you don't position yourself perfectly, you fall out of bounds, and then you miss the Phantomile, and there's nothing you can do to go back for it. The only thing to do is either take 6 hits of damage in the room I was just in, or go onto the platform I was just on and jump to respawn at the checkpoint. So, with the safety checkpoint, that's a terrible time loss. without the safety checkpoint, it's absolutely devastating, because you just have to start the whole level over. But now we're through that. We're through the most dangerous part of the run. At least in terms of massive time losses, there's plenty of
danger, I guess.
Yeah, plenty of stuff that's much riskier. But as far as things that can cause minutes of time loss, we have to do the worst of it.
I've not seen this part of the game in forever. It's weird to see this again.
Yeah, it's a really fun part too. We are going to see another classic, what used to be the any percent skip here, because normally you just skip this whole level in any percent now. But here, these blocks you can't clip through normally, so I have to use... Oops, and I messed it up. That's okay. I'm going to have to wait for the enemy to move a little bit. Come on, there we go. Squeeze right in there.
Dang.
Walk over top of the block. A lot of the weird objects in this game, like those blocks, do not let you clip through normally. Sorry, I have to focus on this puzzle room here. They do not let you clip through normally for whatever reason. Some of them, there are other weird ways to clip through. Those blocks in this case, we have to be a little creative. Unfortunately, that giant enemy is placed perfectly to let us squeeze through the ceiling. I'm going to try something cool here exactly once, and if it doesn't work, we're going to do it the intended way. That was it, we're good.
Nice. These damage boosters
that saves several seconds to get damaged by that enemy. We are in a bit of trouble for the next section, but that's okay. If we have to, we can just die and retry it. Have to damage boost here. We got lucky there and we got damage the right way. So now, as long as nothing stupid happens, we can just proceed to the final puzzle room.
That's our final frame right there.
Yep, we are skipping a terrible section by doing that, which is one of the things I really like about this category. That's it. That's the final puzzle of the game.
Nice.
So now it's just a bit of traversal to the final boss. Well, what appears to be the final boss. Spoiler alert: there are lots of final bosses in this game.
Very true.
But we are doing what you would normally expect to be the final boss at this point of the run. We do have hardly any health. Because I wasted all of the hearts trying to set up that damage strat earlier. So I'm going to try and play a little safe here. This is a very RNG dependent boss. There are two things you can do. You can either try and get 4 hits in the first cycle, which I'm going to do if that's at all possible. It usually isn't. Otherwise, you want to try and get 7 or as many as you can in the first 2 cycles.
Gosh, Gaze's cape here is so deliciously PS1. I love it.
I know, it's great.
It's so cool.
So the RNG was not favorable. We only got 3 hits there. Alright, we got 6, which is almost 7.
True.
Gonna attempt an early grab here. Nice, got that.
Very good.
Yeah, this health is a bit problematic, so I have to be very careful here, but now we just need to get the 3 hits. Oops, well that didn't work at all. But didn't want to do anything too risky. We could be seeing Gadius a second time.
Nah, you got this. We're trying to go power though.
Oops. Well, this is. Oh, we're dead. Okay, that's fine. We'll do it again. Maybe we can show off a faster strat now that we actually have health. Good news is estimates should be fine. Even with the technical difficulties.
That's good, that's good. Because after this, if I recall, we only got the extra vision left and then just the final boss.
Yep.
Not bad. Personally, the extra level is so damn worth it.
Yeah. Alright, I think that was 6. The enemies despawned a little earlier than I wanted, which is unfortunate, so we are going to see the triangle again, but now we're not in any danger. I was a little early there. There we go.
Nice.
And now, we have unlocked the extra vision. And this is where the fun starts.
Sluice Tower
Just a
so
question
cool.
of playing through this as fast as possible. Get a nice early cycle there.
They're probably my favorite song in the game too as well. One of my favorites easily though.
Not playing safe at all, not doing any flying. That can be done slightly faster, but I didn't get the enemy grab I wanted. This is cool. Doing this weird sequence of movements, whoops, just to save 2 double jumps. That's why I was that's why I was skipping every other enemy there, because the double jumps stop you in place for just a second. And we're trying to go fast, so. Really cool skip coming up here. Let's see if it goes well.
Oh, around the lava.
Backtrack there. Nice.
You're not lying, that was indeed a very cool skip.
This is one of the roughest rooms in the entire game.
I agree.
But we're through, okay.
Good stuff.
Cool skip here. There we go.
Love that one.
Perfect. That's the hardest sequence of jumps in the whole game.
Very nice.
Hardest intended sequence of jumps, I should say.
Completely
and it
agree
is
with
hard.
you there. That one gives you so much trouble.
And that was a very good extra vision.
Very
That
nice.
I did this as a donation incentive at SGDQ 2022. Just that level, not the whole category. And that was more than a minute faster than what I did there. That was basically perfect, except for that one little hiccup at the beginning that cost me the sub 2 minutes. But still, I will absolutely take that. That was it was very close to gold, in fact.
Nice. Yeah, very good stuff. I did the same thing for SGDQ 2023 personally.
Yeah.
I think it was like probably about 20 seconds slower than that though. You did that very cleanly.
Now we just have one final boss here.
Actually, it looks a lot different this than the PS1 version.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly just the lighter purple in the back. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
honestly.
I feel like
I'm about it.
Oh, here's a coin flip here. Hopefully we get left. We did not. We got right, so we're losing 7 seconds for no reason, which is a bit unfortunate. There is definitely some RNG in these last bosses. If you play them well, doesn't make that big of a difference, but it definitely can cost a few seconds here and there. And there we just lost 7 seconds just because the enemy spawned in a way that we couldn't reach it in time. And you have to guess which way it's going to spawn. Intentionally dying there, just because that skips a big long animation with all these little crystals that spawn. So now we can just do this in a weird but optimal order. So I'm going to pretend I'm going to hit that crystal, but I'm not. Then I'm going to double back here. Actually, it's not quite optimal. There's a task strat too that you can do, but I'm not going to risk it here. But yeah, pretend I'm going to hit that crystal, then go for the left one, which sets us up for a really fast hit on that right one there, and then just hit this one. Then just gonna get 2 hits on the moving crystal, just like that. And just like that, we are coming to the end of the run. There is one more phase here.
That's a very smooth phase too, by the way.
Thank you.
Very, very nice.
And this is another one that the spawns are random, and the attacks the boss does are random as far as I know. Just a question of filling these cannons, which is also what we were doing in the first phase, by the way. These disappearing platforms can be a bit of a problem, particularly toward the end when the boss, rather than sucking up just 2 of them, sucks up, I think, 3 or 4 at a time.
Yeah, something like that. I know the last phase was 4 in a row.
Yeah, unlike the Wii version or the Fantasy Reverie version, in this one, the boss does not throw meteors. Which is nice. And just like that, we are done.
GG. That's time right there, right?
Yep, that is time right there.
Nice.
Yeah, that is Klonoa Door to Phantomile, all visions. Despite the technical difficulties, which I again apologize for, we have made it in under estimate.
Hooray! Good stuff all around. Good stuff. Can I get a quick wahoo from you for that run?
I'm going to sound more like the Wii remake than I'm going to sound like the actual Klonoa, but yes, wahoo!
Wahoo! Nice. Might as well. They haven't gotten it yet during Klonoa after all.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for running. I always love seeing Klonoa. It's one of my favorite games, and like, not as familiar with the PS1 version, so that was really cool to see all the differences there.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. And that being said, we'll be on a break in a second. When we get back, we're doing Stuart Little 2 100% with Jaxler, so stick around for that. Be back in a little bit.
Thank you again.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back once again with more PlayStation 1 games today. And we also got Jaxler here on the mic with Stuart Little 2 100%. How you doing today?
I am doing okay. Well, I was doing okay until some of the cursed things that you brought up before we went live. But that's
don't worry, I'll ask them again too here. About another line.
But what's good, everybody? I'm Jaxler. I'm going to be running Stuart Little 2, a.k.a. Stuart in the Secret Rings, a.k.a. We Have Mario 64 at Home. This is a PS1 3D platformer. Like I said, it's like Mario 64 at home. We're going to be doing 100%, so we're going to be getting all 36 of the rings, all of the cat biscuits, which we'll talk about, all the clapperboards, all the everything. So we'll do it from a fresh pile. So seen this game before. It's the most PS1 platformer game you have ever seen. It is jank. It is weird. It's very funny. So I guess there's nothing better to do other than just get things started. So we start time like after like the first cutscene on first input in game. So I'm gonna go ahead and start new game, but it's not gonna start the timer. I'm gonna give you a count in from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm already laughing at the loading screen.
the loading screens are just so like just look at Stuart. Like just look at it. Look at this dude.
Look at that dude right there.
Look at this dude. All right,
That's
so
just a
we are in the, he's schmooving right now. So we start off the run by grabbing 4 cat biscuits. We're gonna talk to our friend Margalo and start our first auto scroller. So yeah, so
Woo.
all we gotta do is just go left, right, or up and click stars. And we only need to get a certain amount per lap. So we're just gonna be chilling here a little bit. So yeah, so for 100% for this game, like I said, we need all 36 rings. So there's 6 rings in each level. They're kind of like the MacGuffins, like a Mario 64 star. We also need all 6 face blocks, which are kind of like closest thing to red coin mission in this game. There's also going to be 80 cat biscuits in each level and a hidden clapperboard that unlocks a movie clip in like the extras menu, and that's also required for 100%. So all of those things are required because this game actually does track percentage, and it'll tell us after the final boss whether or not we've gotten 100% or not. So hopefully we'll see that screen by the end of this run. But yeah, we're just gonna make Stuart dance a little bit here because
He's
he
having
just
the time
can't.
of his life when he's reaching up like that.
Yeah,
He's having a great time.
he is praising the sun. All right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Stuart. And then we get one of the best lines, "Call me Super Stuart." So you're gonna see Stuart kind of just like aggressively like double jump hip thrusting into the air right there. And so whenever you're jumping up like a climbable surface, it's much faster to just jump up it. It also just makes a great sound. This is one of those games where you need to hear it as much as you need to see it, just because some of the sound effects are great. All right, so we're gonna be making our way through here. I'm using the run button at all times in order to go faster, but it's really jank because as we'll see a little bit later, whenever you do a running jump, you are committed to the direction you're jumping. So you have like no aerial drift if you do a running jump. So in a lot of spots, I'll be doing like walking or standing jumps instead in order to actually be able to control Stuart midair.
You have found a face.
And so right there, we found a face block. We're going to be hearing that voice line a lot. Face blocks, we need 6 of those in order to reveal a path to another one of those rings. And so basically our goal here is just to avoid backtracking as much as possible. So right here, 2, 3, 4, making sure I don't have to push that as much. And then that's actually a tricky jump right there because again, whenever you do one of these running jumps, you are committed to that angle. So you have to make sure that you like get your lineup perfect there or else you just fall to your doom, which is funny, but not exactly fast, right? So the big thing with this room is that we route this so that we only have to like climb up the planter once. And then right here, I do a late hit on that button. So this will come up in a bunch of different spots, but whenever you do something that activates a cutscene, it won't start the cutscene until Stuart is in like a neutral animation, like either his walk, his idle, or his like brake slide. And so because of that, you want to make sure that Stuart is not busy as soon as you activate the cutscene. So I do a very late spin attack so that the animation for the attack ends like right as you hit the button. So you go straight into the cutscene. It's just a nice little time save. So yeah, this game has great sounds. I don't know if how well it's coming across on the restream for you, Shasta, but yeah, I found the golden key.
Mostly hearing like the sound effects when it pops up at least, because like otherwise I'm hearing also your voice a little more too.
I also just love the run-on sentences from Stuart, just because like every one of his voice lines is just like, dang. I'm
He's
just like,
talking,
wow.
isn't
He do be talking.
He do be saying some words here.
He do be spitting facts. Oh yeah, so sometimes this candle's a little finicky, where if you approach it from the wrong side, then it just says no. You have found a face block. So yeah, if you can't already tell, this game's just kind of a giant meme. it's
But
a
also,
good like.
it's kind of cool just because it's a good license game, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, and you know, it's a PS1 game. It's definitely ambitious, but it's also just very funny. Because sometimes, like, you know, you try so hard and then you just faceplant, and the game faceplants a couple times, and it's just very funny. So I'm setting up some intentional damage right here because one of the big things with routing 100% in this game is we do a lot of death abuse in order to cut back on backtracking. Oh, okay, Stuart, thank you. Yeah, so see what I mean? Sometimes, especially with the camera, it just doesn't. That's the best way I can put it. Oh,
There's that
sorry.
PS1 Jake I know and love.
Well done, Stuart.
So generally, you want to go through like the whole level as fast as possible because there's a moving platform cycle that we're trying to catch. And now I have like no idea what my cycle is going to be. These books are not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about that CD tray that's over there. And then we're coming up on one of the best voice lines in the game that we'll hear a couple of times. I'll just shut up for a second.
Aha! I have the hidden treasure! Yo ho ho and a bottle of milk?
Milk? It's so bad.
Excellent hunting, Stuart.
Oh my goodness.
You have found a face.
And so something I'm doing here... Oh. Okay, there we go. Something I'm doing is when I'm coming out of a big fall, I am doing a spin attack in order to sort of cancel the hard fall animation where Stuart's kind of stuck in place for a little bit. So if you see me just like landing and spinning at random times, that's probably why. So now I get introduced to some genuinely awful swimming controls, although I've never seen good swimming controls in a video game either, so it's just like, you know, you get what you can get. So now we get 60 of our cat biscuits, and we have it routed out, so as soon as we get through that pipe, we can deliver 60 to get this jeweled ring, and then we're going to do one of those death abuses here. So there's going to be a Black Widow spider, which is very dangerous. I don't know why that's here.
It's really dangerous.
But, you know, very, very dangerous. Stuart should be dead, but you know what? He just keeps going. He just keeps running.
What a trooper.
What a trooper. One of the things I haven't mentioned yet about the game's controls is that whenever you hold down the run button, regardless of like whether you're holding down the stick in any direction, Stuart will just run. Like if I just hold down R1 without using the stick at all, he'll just keep going. And it makes getting running jumps going really tricky because like as soon as you press the run button, you're kind of committed, right? So it's just like that, and plus the camera is really funky in a lot of spots, and then this is also a PS1 game, so it's only 8 directions for movement, so it can be really finicky to deal with. So we got a plain section here, and we'll just do this for a jeweled ring. Trying to cut the corners tight, you know, nothing crazy. So I guess while we're here, I don't know, Shasta, what are your thoughts, impressions? Is this everything you wanted it to be?
Everything and more, if you ask me. Like honestly, it's cool to see like this amount of effort put into like a license game like this. This game seems like it controls pretty smoothly overall. It's really nice, and like there's a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot to do in this.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff to do in this, and it looks like it controls smooth, but I will assure you that is a little deceptive.
Oh no. That just means you're just
especially
that
with
good
like
at the
the
game.
middle. Yeah, I'm just built different, you know.
It's true. Constructed normally.
So even for like the most basic of platforming, like we just kind of have setups for everything, like angles we want to hold and little camera things we do. Something I also do as well is I tend to steer Stuart with the camera more than I do with the movement stick, and that's because like the camera turns at like more precise angles than Stuart, because Stuart can only move in 8 directions. And so because of that, it's oftentimes a lot easier to steer Stuart with the camera. Right, so now we're heading to Central Park, and so we get these beautiful, extremely low-res cutscenes in between that luckily we can skip.
That's that stuff I love right there.
Yeah, it's so bad.
The DS too.
Yeah.
it's the best.
So we're going to crawl through right there, and then I'm going to do a setup right here where once I grab the third cat biscuit here, I sort of curve around so I don't have to climb all the way to the top. And then we're going to be going for another late hit. It was a little too early, so what ended up happening there is I attacked midair too early, so that Stuart did that hard fall, and that hard fall actually like delays the cutscene a little bit, but not a huge deal, just a small little thing. So this is kind of interesting because in any percent, we only need 30 rings in order to beat the game. So you kind of have some choice as to in theory, as to what you get. But Central Park is like one of the levels where you generally get most things in the any percent route, but we do have to collect a couple of things in this level that we don't in Hundo. So I'm actually going to avoid those 2 cat biscuits there until the very end of the level, because cat biscuit like count is actually super important to route in this level, just because of like one weird interaction with one of the side objectives towards the end of the level. So I want to make sure that I get 60 cat biscuits by a very specific point. So we'll just keep that in the back of the mind for now as we go into maybe one of the worst vehicle sections I have ever seen in a video game.
Oh no.
So the whole reason I have input display on in the bottom left corner of the screen is so that you can see how much effort it takes just to turn this thing. Like, look how slow it is to turn. It's so bad.
Oh, gosh.
It's so bad. Luckily, all you need to do is just, like, you know, hold tight lines around the corners, and that's all you need to do for the boat minigame. And it's pretty easy, but it's just, like, it just sucks.
Just so convenient.
This is like I dog on this game a lot because, for one, it's funny, because Stuart had it coming. And then on top of that, yeah, you know. But on top of that, like, you know, I grew up with this game. This is one of the first games I ever remember having memories of playing when I was like 3 or 4. So, you know, it's one of those things too, right? But, you know, I always try to give props to game devs for making video games because it's really hard. And, you know, there's like some of like the levels and environments you go through are pretty neat. There are some things about the game though that are very easy to make fun of. And of course I have to, you know, it's part of the culture.
You gotta. It's right there. It's a layup. I get it.
Spicy meatball. Yeah, this game's pretty straightforward, but if anybody has like any questions about the existence of this game or any of the stuff I'm doing, feel free. Although this is one of those things where it's just like, oh, I don't know what to talk about a little bit, because like so much of this run is just like movement optimization and like doing little things. We do have the playground coming up though, which I kind of have on its own sub-split, because especially this pole climbing can be really tricky. Because whenever you jump off a pole, you're kind of committed to the direction as well. So I have very specific setups that I have to do here to try to grab everything in one climb without falling. Yeah, that's not quite what I wanted, so that's okay. Yeah, and as you can see, the camera, not so good.
It's doing its best, but it's struggling.
Yeah, so we get the clapper board down here. And then that's what that's supposed to look like, but I had to climb an extra time there. So that's, like, unironically actually pretty tricky to handle, so I'll take that. The other thing I have to worry about in this section right here is that slide. Where if I miss any of the cat biscuits on that slide, then I have to do a really difficult, like, trick in order to climb back up the slide in the opposite direction, which hopefully I won't have to do. And I'm also routing my HP here again, because we're going to be doing a death warp as soon as we get the last thing here. We're going to be doing a lot of death warps in this level. Okay, good. So we got all of those just fine. If there's like a frame perfect trick that I can do to climb up the opposite way of a slide, and like I know how to do it because you do it at 80% for a skip. But you really want to avoid doing it because you have to, like, especially if you miss the cat biscuit all the way at the top. Like, you have to do, like, 6 frame-perfect inputs in a row in order to get all the way up there, and it's just rough.
Eesh.
Oh, dear! That's, like, my favorite dying sound in any video game ever. He's just like, oh, dear!
Although I've been slightly convenienced by dying. That says to me. It's like Winnie Pooh going like, oh, bother to everything.
Excellent hunting.
He said this is the extreme now.
Somebody in chat asked, does this game exist? And
does it?
Against all odds, it does indeed exist.
Whoa.
Yeah, kind of wild.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe me either sometimes, but...
Oh no.
You know, it happens. Alright, so this is the first boss. This is the park bench. We call this a boss because, like, again, the camera is really rough and it's really easy to fall off and have the geometry just kind of knock you off. So, took care of the first boss right there. Got to deal with the tree. Which is, I call it the DM, the desperation move. Alright, there we go. And then we grab the secret ring. And he's gonna say the funny again.
Hidden treasure.
Yo ho ho in a bottle of milk.
Oh my
All right,
god.
and so this is where it was really important to route our cat biscuits, because if we grab that cat biscuit right there and get exactly 60, we get the dialogue pickup for having gotten 60 cat biscuits for the jewel ring. And that's really bad to get there, because certain things like text boxes will actually like delay Margalo coming down from the sky. And you end up losing like 5 seconds there, waiting for that text box to clear so you can start this foot race challenge. So I actually sort of grab a couple few cat biscuits, so less than you would normally get, in order to like make sure that that doesn't happen, so that I don't lose 5 seconds. So that's something that we kind of routed in like not too long ago. That it's like, it's like, what else am I going to talk about? It's Hundo. We don't really do a lot of the skips that you have in any percent, like face block skip in sewer, a couple other things, face block skipping, garbage barge. Like, you don't have that. Well, you do have that in this category. Never mind, I'm just talking nonsense. But it's just like, this is like the most comfy category in the game, because you're just laughing at the game the whole time.
You're just doing stuff, honestly. And that's cool.
Yeah, you gotta be very careful there. I lose a boatload of time.
Honestly.
Yeah, gotta be really careful
categories
there.
you can just kind of just do and just completely just check out for a long time as you're doing it.
Yeah, it's kind of great if you like really need to dissociate while you're doing your speedruns. Pretty rad.
It's pretty cool.
But all right, so I'm gonna try a little route thing that I haven't done. I normally get a 1-up here, but I'm gonna skip it because it's been pretty slow for me. So I've also been noticing that I've been ending runs with an extra 1-up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and skip it, and we're gonna see if that ends up saving me time later. So who knows?
You've collected
Another jeweled ring. Yeah, the thing I love, freaking Margalos just sounds so unenthused in this game. It's so funny.
She wasn't paid enough to be here.
Yeah. Alright, and then we finish off back here. And as soon as we get the last... Oh, that was gold. Nice. Okay. Well, it's probably because this is the 1-up.
Very fast.
So we'll see if that pays off. But we're going to go ahead and do our next auto-scroller, which is another race car. So another, like, minecart segment with, Salute the Sun. So...
All right, Jaxler, your expert speedrunning opinion here of Stuart Little 2. Who wins in a fight, Remy or Stuart?
Well, in a fight, it's probably Remy, because Remy like controls human, and humans swish rat.
That is true.
And what else does Stuart have but his sweater vest? It's just like,
He's got his car.
He does have a car, but small car loses to big human. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, playing earlier, I shot bullets or like seeds or whatever it is.
I'm just throwing like small tomatoes. I'm throwing grape.
That can blind them. Can stun them for a little bit.
Stuart's not that good of a shot.
Could stun lock them. I don't know. Tomatoes are sick. That hurts the eyes.
Why are you trying to defend Stuart here? Is what I'm saying.
That's a good point.
Stuart had it coming, you know?
Stuart did have it coming. That's true. But like,
Congratulations.
good point. Actually, you're right. I can't keep this up.
That's one more.
Stuart get destroyed by Remy from Ratatouille. Remy from Ratatouille is just literally a giant mecha. You know, like you can't.
Yeah. So when I said earlier that I was doing great until some of the things that Shasta said before the stream, that was one of them.
What do you think Ratatouille is really just a mecha anime?
Hate it.
Excellent hunting, Stuart.
You have found a face block.
Thanks, Margalo. I've not seen Stuart Little since I was like probably like 4 or 5, so like I forgot like everything about the movie here.
It's really interesting too, because I wrote another one called Stuart Little 3 Big Photo Adventure. There is a third Stuart Little movie, but it has nothing to do with Stuart Little 3 Big Photo Adventure, which I just think is great.
That's pretty awesome. They just want to make a cool game based around a cool rat or mouse.
Yeah, taking pictures.
It's like fail frame when you think about it.
Yeah, except the horror is the fact that Stuart Little exists and is real and can hurt you.
That's just some true facts right there, and I'm always constantly scared about
Excellent
this.
hunting, Stuart. You have found a face block.
All right, so we're doing bedroom right here. We have to do this really long, slow climb up here. So we actually kind of route it so that we do this in 2 trips, and then we finish with the sort of the secret ring in the area. So we go all the way across, finish with the secret ring, and then we can go backwards to collect these 3 cat biscuits, and that's just like a nice little routing thing we can do to get through here nice and quick.
Always name the game for a 100% character like this. Love talking about routing.
Nice.
A
Okay.
bottle of milk?
Milk. It's such a bad one. It's not even that it's delivered poor. It's just bad writing.
It's just terrible.
It just sucks.
They couldn't make alcohol references in their rated E game, so like, I don't know. Why would they go with that one?
Milk?
Milk?
Excellent hunting, Stuart.
All right. So this is like, I'm gonna try to go for this. This probably won't work, but oh, I actually almost got it. Okay, so you can actually skip a balloon ride with some frame perfect jumps there if you do that right. But
It's really close.
yeah, I actually got 3 of the 4, but I missed the last one. So this balloon ride is what that skips. It's just one of those things. I never go for it in runs because like you just end up losing time, right? But I'm just like, I'm on Hotfix. It's Stuart Little 2. It's, I'm being forced to get, well, not against my will, but I'm being forced to do an reset, and it's just like, well, I might as well swag out,
Might as well a little bit. Stuart's a very swaggy little man, honestly. He's got swag out to his movements.
Yeah.
Just
So the
makes
way
sense.
that works is that when you're on like slope surfaces that cause you to slide, and we'll see this a little bit when we get to sewers, there's a 1-frame window where you can jump off of it before it starts the slide animation and locks you out of jump. And you can use that to kind of sequence break a couple things. We use it a good bit in 80%. There's a couple spots we'll see it hopefully in this category for some minor movement optimizations. But yeah, we got another auto scroller. We got the shmup. We got the rail shooter moment.
We got a
Doesn't
question
this
in the
game-
chat here for you, by the way.
Gotcha. What's up?
Do you have any clutch Stuart Little lore for us?
Clutch Stuart Little lore. I know that this game was made by Magenta Software, who also made Stuart Little 3.
Ooh.
As far as like Stuart lore goes, there's a GBA game too. That one also sucks.
Oh, no.
There's like 3 different games titled Stuart Little 2, and they all suck.
Oh no.
This is probably the best of them, but
It looks
and
at least
again-
decent.
yeah, it's not bad. But it's one of those like things where I have to say it sucks because it's part of the code.
It's part of the runner code. I get that.
Yeah.
You'd be fired from running this game if you didn't do it. I get you.
Way to go, Stuart. You managed
All right, so we did the shmup,
Me, Super Stuart.
and he's gonna say, "Call me Super Stuart."
Call me Super Stuart. Chat, please call Super Stuart Super Stuart. Thank you.
You have found a face block.
The spin cancels right there in order to cancel some of the fall animation. It's not fall damage, it's just like the hard fall. So while I'm waiting for that ring to come out, I grab the cat biscuit right there. Oh yeah, they're not, even though they obviously look like goldfish, they're not actually goldfish. They are legally distinct cat biscuits, just so everyone's aware.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, that's the real lore.
That's the actual hot lore, it seems.
And also, I hope you like swimming, because we've got some more of it, and it controls like absolute garbage. We've got to collect a bunch of things underwater here, and in the level after this, which is sewers.
How garbage are we talking here? Like break it down for me.
Yes,
Uh, Tokyo Drift, but as in like Tokyo Drift into the traffic barrier between like the two lanes. You know what I mean? That kind of Tokyo Drift.
Ooh. I think I see what you mean now.
Imagine trying to control Stuart with a running jump where you're committed to like your jump direction, but as a swimming mechanic. It's bad. Oh, that's really bad, actually. Okay. That game just ate my jump input.
Oh, no.
Okay. So, we actually have to take another death warp here, because I have no fast way of getting up there otherwise, so I'm going to have to grab an extra life somewhere. That's a little tragic, but we live. Yeah, so remember when I said this game was bad? That's what I mean.
But it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's so bad it borders on being beautiful, you know?
I would say it's pure beautiful, personally. But also, I'm not playing the game.
Yeah, it's one of those... You just have to play it to, like, believe it, you know? It's one of those things where, like, oh, it doesn't look too bad, and then you play it, and you're just like, oh, no. God, I'm playing bad too, but you know what? Who cares? I'm just having a good time. I got world record the other night. I have nothing to lose.
Exactly. And you're getting lucky right now and having fun. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, that is true. In a weird cosmic sense.
Yeah. That's how it works.
But yeah, I will
philosophical questions.
Oh yeah, go
another
for it.
Another question from chat right here saying, "Why do the cat's biscuits have neutral buoyancy in the water in the bathtub? What's up with that? What do you think?"
Yeah, I think they're denser than like goldfish because they aren't OSHA compliant. Oh, I almost just hit quick game. That would have been real bad.
I think you're still in the plastic personally, but that's just me.
Microplastics, delicious.
My favorites, yummy.
So somebody asked if this is a PS1 or a PS2 game. This is a PS1 game, but I am playing it on a PS2. And the reason that you do that is because PS2s have something for PlayStation 1 games called fast disk speed, which literally spins the disc faster than a PS1 could and causes the loading times to be faster. So makes a pretty big difference for this game. So it is a PS1 game. It's a very late PS1 game, which is interesting. It's like 01 or 02 or something like that.
I was gonna say, yeah, when I was looking up like the release date for this one, I was surprised it was actually still PS1.
Yeah.
All I have to do is take the key to the golden suitcase.
So this level is where I would say not only the run, but also the game starts to get a lot more difficult. Yeah, because of stuff like that. Yeah, you see how I couldn't do anything right there, and I was just doomed? That's what I mean when I say like the committal jumps are really rough, especially because like you need running jumps to make a lot of this work.
It's really hard to see like where you're jumping there behind the text box. It's not big enough.
Stuart, you have found a face block.
Yeah, so I was looking for that enemy to damage me there, and unfortunately that didn't happen, so we'll back it up with something else. We get some more. It's just the worst, grossest double jump sound in the video game of all time.
Wow. Thanks, Margalo. I thought I was.
Well, I love the idea of Seward there, just be like, yeah, one more ring as he's like drowning in the water.
One more ring for the good guys!
Woo!
Yeah, so this level's gonna have a lot of death warps just because, like, this is also where, like, the game's levels start to get a lot bigger. Alright, I'm gonna do a setup here for a big jump so that, didn't quite get it. But the idea is that you jump, and then as you sink into the water, it pushes you into the face block so that you don't have to, dive down and grab it, which is really slow. And then we're gonna go into Tony Hawk's Pro Stewart,
Do you want to grab your pet?
where I have a very specific movement line I'm gonna try to do to grab all of these stars in one go. So I'm actually going to be a little quiet here. This thing, okay, this will be a little funky. I'll shut up then. This thing turns really fast, so it's a little bit funky to control sometimes, but it feels really good when you hit these like quick cycles, especially when you have to do like the hard one in the final level. There's like kind of two of each type of minigame segment, as I call them.
All I'm saying is they should have licensed Superman by Goldfinger for this section in particular. That's all I'm saying.
You've collected another jeweled ring.
Good job, Stuart.
Good job, Stuart. We're so proud of you. And by so proud of you, I mean we're going to kill you multiple times over the course of this next segment here. And so,
Oh no.
nah, he had it coming. All right, so
Oh yes.
we're gonna go ahead and grab this extra life. Oh, didn't hit me. Okay, that's fine. Because I took an unintentional death earlier, so that's also normally one of the extra lives that I skip. But we'll just grab that as a backup. Go through here. And so interestingly enough, you actually don't need this face block to get the face block ring for this level. You can actually skip it. Because once you get 5 of the 6, you can kind of see in that cutscene that the face blocks are still like out there and have hitboxes. They just, don't move into position until you get all 6. But there's actually a really tricky jump that you can do in order to skip that underwater face block, which is really slow to come out of our way to get in an 80% run. But again, because it's a hundo run, we do have to get everything, so we need to grab that one. Didn't make the cycle there. That's unfortunate.
Gotta indeed do all the things, as they say.
And for some reason, that cat biscuit right there is just like right on the edge of the platform, and I have fallen off there multiple times just trying to grab it. It kind of sucks. And then we're gonna go up here to. This is probably one of the most well-hidden clapperboards. I actually think this is kind of like a cool, well-hidden collectible. And then we're going to dive to the slime, and then we're gonna go into this room right here. Yeah, this level probably has the most climbable walls in the game. So we get to hear Stuart do a lot of hip thrusts and grunting into the air.
I do love when like platform games do that, where you can just kind of mash A or like just do something else like that to get up a ladder faster.
Yeah, it
do love
is
that sort
very
of thing.
funny. So I'm putting myself at like 1 HP or 0 HP pretty much because we're going to be doing a death warp after we grab this secret ring, hence the name Stuart and the Secret Rings, like I was joking about earlier.
That is the name of the game. That's the subtitle.
It's literally just the name of the game.
But hey,
There's no joke here. It's just what it is.
All right, so right there, I actually got one of those frame perfect slide jumps. Oh, I got both. Wow, okay, that's actually really good.
Ooh.
So again, if you jump the frame, oh, okay, well, you stayed in. Where's this gonna put me? Ah, dang it. Well, that was gonna gold, but now it's not, so that's tragic. Because I have not hit both. I have not hit both of those in a lap of that segment yet. But nope. We're just gonna go ahead and still grab this ring here, and we're good to go. And we're good to go. So now we're going into like the west wing of this level here, where we've got the last couple face blocks, and we're gonna do kind of a setup here for this animation cancel. Good. So I have to like time every spin into a face block in a very specific way in order to make sure that like the spin ends as early as possible, but I also don't get the hard fall animation so that I don't end up losing too much time. And then this is maybe one of the most brutal platforming segments, especially casually, is this nonsense. Just because the camera's fighting you here, and then that can happen sometimes where you almost fall off. And it's just no bueno, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're on the little slope face there for too long, you will fall. And then you have to do it all over again. So, kind of stinky, honestly. But we're going to be making our way through to here. We're going to go take care of the foot race first. And that's important because the face block will kind of move to the left over here. And we can actually catch the face block and have it let us ride over with the face block to make some of the platforming easy. Because it's really easy to fall off the face block platforming there, so we're gonna do everything we can to like set things up and make things safe. There's like so many little setups that we have just to make basic platforming happen. It's kind of funny.
Most types of games, I guess.
Yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of lag through here. Oh, and I missed the checkpoint. Cool. Yeah, the game really wants you to go through all the goalposts, so if you aren't like perfectly where you need to go, then it's going to say no. And it's really annoying. But luckily, we can cheat this group of the quick race and just go straight into here. We're good to go.
Wow, Stuart.
And like I said, you can catch this
For
platform.
the good guys.
We're gonna hit this so that it starts the opening animation while we grab the jeweled ring. That gets us 2 1-ups, which is really efficient. And then we're gonna grab these last 3 cat biscuits. Remember, they are not goldfish, they are legally distinct cat biscuits. And so we saw Margolo's head pop up, which means we 100% of that level, so we're good to go. So we're gonna go up 3, and we're gonna go to back alleys. This song unironically slaps. Like, weirdly enough, the music of this game is actually pretty decent. We're gonna do a setup, so we only push the takeout box 3 times, so that we don't have to jump as far. Ledge grab skip right here. Slide cancel right there. There's like a bunch of little movement things. So, like, even though this game is a giant game, there is some depth and complexity to just operating Stuart
Found a face.
a little bit. Especially with like the fall damage cancels and like there's a lot of stuff that I'm doing where I'm doing like running movement to move, you know, as fast as possible. But then I let go of the run button at the last minute so I can do a more controlled jump. So like right here's a good example. So I can just grab that and we'll see if we get key jump. That will almost assuredly not work. Yep.
Now all I have
Tried
to
to
do is
be.
take
So now we gotta
the
push the
golden
takeout.
suitcase. What an adventure this is turning out to be.
Yeah, so you can make that jump from the trash can. But like Shasta was talking about earlier, it's really hard to see where you're going because the text boxes pull up. So, like, you can't see where Stuart's feet are, so you don't know when you're jumping off the platform.
Yeah, it seems like one of those things where, like, you can't make it too dark because, you know, you gotta see where you're going, but also can't make it too light because you gotta read the text as well.
Yeah.
It's just strange. Maybe we could handle the whole thing a different way, but that's, of course, many years in the past now.
Yeah, it's too late now. There's no going back.
It really isn't.
Alright, I gotta be a bit careful here of these flies that are on a set cycle. Because that one can actually hit you into a vat of water and make you void out. And it really stinks. But the nice thing is that as soon as you got that face block,
Excellent hunting,
it's just
Stuart.
good.
You have found a face.
And then we're gonna jump to that one so that we don't have to climb that pole. And we're gonna do the monkey bars animation, which it just, I don't know why. The monkey bars animation just looks so funny to me.
It's pretty goofy. I'll give you that one.
Excellent
hunting, Stuart. You have found a face block. And then we're gonna do our next shmump. So hey, we got another auto scroller. So again, all like the balloons and like things that we have to shoot in this shooting gallery are on set cycles and they're the same every time. So I know exactly where to put my cursor to be able to hit all of these. Like I actually have like it memorized. Like that's how much this game has given me physical and emotional pain.
That's how much it
Is that
means to you. Has your favorite game ever made?
Ah, yes. Definitely.
So how are you doing?
How am I doing? I'm hanging in there. My sleep has been a little off, so I woke up at like 3 p.m. my time, which is less than ideal, but you know what? We're doing our best.
Me
So is
too.
Stuart.
I didn't get good sleep last night at all. I think I got like a total of 4 hours in the end. So I'm hanging in there at the moment. But I'm doing my best as well. You got this, and also I got this. We both got this.
Yes, Stuart.
We're so back.
We're so back. I'm so taking a nap after this.
Excellent hunting, Stuart.
After this, of course. But
Yeah, I'm gonna take a nap too. Yo, naps are kind of goated, not gonna lie.
they're so
Well,
goated.
I shouldn't be taking a nap because like I've literally only been awake for like 3 hours at this point. But you know.
You do what
ball.
you gotta do, honestly.
Alright, so this is another one of those situations where like Margolo won't show up until text boxes are off camera. So what I do is I stack a bunch of different things that I need to collect while Stuart is like celebrating the fact that he got another ring, which is so cool of him. And we use that to get a bunch of stuff done along the way because we'd have to wait for Margolo to show up anyway, right? So just kind of one of those optimization sort of things. And we've got the car, which somehow controls worse than the boat. So that's lovely.
But it's iconic, though.
Yeah, because at least with the boat, you kind of sink into the water a little bit when you land. So you can turn a little bit better. But with the car, you have to take the ramps, which are just annoying. And it's even more finicky to turn.
It looks like it, honestly.
It's bad.
Constantly having the cones right there, too. But they're so rigid. Glued to the ground, probably.
Yeah.
You gonna be good? Okay, it's 20 seconds there.
We're good. We're don't worry about it.
I'm a little worried about it.
I don't know what you put the estimate as, but we're probably gonna come in like 10 minutes under the estimate anyway, so we're gonna be so back.
So bad.
We're gonna be so back that we've wrapped around to being just absolutely gone.
We'll just be so.
We're just gonna be so. We're so.
We're
know.
so.
Okay, so I don't know what you were expecting when you put this on the docket for Hotfix, because like
I was expecting some hot Stuart Little 2 action. I'm getting it right now. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
yeah, that's one more ring for the good guys. We're gonna do another death warp here. Oh dear.
That's right. I did actually specifically ask you to submit this. That is true.
Yeah, you
I
wanted this.
it.
Why?
I like having you on. That's why.
I'm joking. It's like no, it's more this game. Why this game? No, it's all good though.
Run more 100% categories. Get more items in your runs.
I'm trying
to be on more. I mean, hey, I don't know if it's a all things category per se, but I do run Rabbits Go Home all missions, and that category slaps. That counts for me. I'm down.
All right.
Honestly, my criteria at this point is that if all is the name of the category, I'm super down for it.
I need an excuse to run that game because I really want to work on it.
Let's go.
So if you've never heard of that, I'm literally talking about everything other than this game. And I'm sorry for especially for the people who find this on YouTube who are like, oh my god, I loved this game as a kid. And we're just talking about literally nothing related to the game. But too bad, it's my run. I'm going to talk about whatever I want. So if you haven't heard of Rabbids Go Home, it's like, Rayman Raving Rabbids, but it's like a 3D platformer, adventure game where you're two rabbits in a shopping cart, and it's like a Mario Kart platformer, and it's actually just one of my favorite games ever. It's so good.
That kind of rules, honestly.
Yeah, it's got a drift and boost mechanic. It's got something called wah boosting, which is just objectively funny.
The only Mario Kart platformer, quote unquote, I've heard before is fun enough also on the PS1, Muppets Race Mania. I guess it's got a lot of platforming too for a car racer, It's pretty cool. And there's also a DS version of Rabbids Go Home. Have you played that one before?
I've heard it's a puzzle game and not very good.
What the heck? Oh no!
Oh, you'll find out the hard way whether it's good or not.
Someday I will.
Yeah, now we are on Garbage Barrage, which is probably the hardest level, especially in any percent. But luckily, just because the platforming's hard, and we actually have some pretty decently sized skips here.
Makes sense.
All right, so I went for the one frame there and didn't quite get it. So all this trash is slip slidey.
Lore-wise, why is Stuart Little here all of a sudden?
So he flew his plane, and then the plane crashed on the garbage barge in the movie. All right, so we actually do have a cool skip here. So we're gonna damage boost off the lava. Now let's just get to this face block early. Let's got that one first try.
Excellent hunting,
nice.
Stuart. You have found a face block.
So that one is it's tricky in general, but it's especially tricky because it's so hard to get Stuart to go where you want him to in this game when he's jumping. So that was pretty smooth. And then right here, the reason why we did that is so that we can basically get all of these cat biscuits in one go, because if you drop down to grab the face block, you can't just jump back up to grab the rest of the cat biscuits, right? So you're just kind of like forced to do it in 2 loops. But because we did it like that, we grabbed some kind of annoying to route cat biscuits on the way there, and then we're just good to go. So I'm taking intentional damage through here, so I can immediately drop into the lava and murder Stuart, because for 1, he deserves it, and 2, it's faster. So we're going to do a break slide right here to stop Stuart, so that we grab those on the way down, so we don't have to climb back up.
Chat brought up a good point, by the way. Why is there lava on a barge?
I think that's the furnace. Well, we're about to see a lot more of it. This is kind of like the furnace section, if you will. So I'm doing good on lives. We only have 1 more death warp, I believe. Yep. And see, Stuart missed. So I actually kind of want to avoid taking damage here because this is a pretty slow spot to take damage. The place we want to take damage is where we're actually going to do the death abuse, because we can actually move at full speed while taking damage there. So it's like a small little routing thing. All right, last yo-ho-ho and a bottle of milk for all of you milk enjoyers.
Milk?
Milk?
Oh, milk? Why does he say that?
Excellent
Why is he?
hunting, Stuart.
Why is Stuart
You
doing
have found a
this?
face block.
They always ask why is Stuart, and never how is Stuart.
Pensive
Foot cowboy.
Pensive cowboy.
Alright, so here... Yeah, poor Stewie. Yeah, Stuart! Yeah! I'm sorry for anyone who is expecting, like, my usual brand of, like, very highly informative commentary. I'm trying to do the best I can, but it's just, like... You know, that's not always the vibe sometimes with certain games. It's just, like... You know, sometimes it really is just Stuart Little in a Stuart Little world.
Yeah.
And...
Just a little guy moving around, honestly. There's nothing more than that occasionally.
Key to the golden suitcase. What an adventure this is turning out to be.
Excellent.
I keep
hunting,
like, so I have like life split on in the background. I'm just like so checked out at this point that like I'm just forgetting to split like 3 or 4 times over the course of this run.
Oh no.
I've collected enough cat biscuits.
You're doing well. Keep it up.
No, the problem is this is a good, like a decent run too. So like, so I'm not comparing to PB because I accidentally, again, because I checked out, like I overwrote my PB splits the other night because I accidentally had global hotkeys on. So like, but like compared to like my old PB, I'm like at least like 30 seconds ahead, which is funny. Now, to be completely fair, that PB isn't good, but okay. So there is one really tricky strat that you can do in this plain Superman 64 segment that I have not been going for lately because like it's one of those things where like you mess it up once and it breaks your confidence. But because we're on GDQ Hotfix and I have nothing to lose, I'm gonna go for it. Which if I miss this, I have to restart the whole section, but it will look funny because it makes a funny sound.
Do it for the content.
Oh, I got it, actually. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that turn right there is really dangerous. It's really easy to bonk and blow up your plane. So, nice.
Wow. That was... Yes.
All right, and then we're going to do
You've collected
another Yes Stewart. 2 Yes Stewarts back to back.
You've collected
And then this is where we're going to be going for the damage boosting through here. I actually got here on such a good cycle that... There we go. Oh, yes. This is kind of where like the texture warping is probably the most obvious, which is not a fault of the game at all. That's just kind of how the PS1 renders things in its graphics. So like if you ever see that in not just this game but any PS1 game, that's probably why.
Excellent hunting, Stuart.
You have found a face block. Alright, so after this we're probably coming up on the individually most difficult ring to do fast, I'd say, which is the final skateboarding challenge. There's a way you can do it all in one cycle, but it's really tough. So I'm going to actually ask for a little bit of quiet time here, see if I can't nail this for y'all. This one actually looks pretty cool when you get it all in one go. But it's kind of hard to do that. So I was a little scuffed, but we picked it up.
I'm still just in my head imagining Superman by Goldfinger playing during this part.
Beefed it. Okay. So we're gonna do this instead. Okay, good backup. So I didn't get the jump right there, which is kind of what I needed for the one cycle, but it'll at least get to show you kind of the rest of what that looks like. So that was a pretty good backup. It's actually a lot harder than it looks to get down. It's pretty tricky. So these will be the last 3 cat biscuits and the last face block of the run. And we got one more jeweled ring before we go into the Falcon boss, which is the final boss.
To collect. So now I can travel across them to collect the jeweled ring.
Okay. We're actually holding up decently okay. So now we are going into the Falcon boss. So this is all done on plane. And the way that this works is that I need to grab these batteries to fill up my super meter. And then once I fill up my super meter, I can press the X button to charge up the Falcon and do some damage. And I have to do this a set number of times. But it's really jank to land the hits because you can actually go above or below the Falcon and miss. So you have to be pretty careful. And we have a couple of setups to try to make it a little more consistent. There's 2. Good. Good start. And so if I do this all right, we get what's called the one cycle, which is where we do it. You see how I missed that one right there? So there goes my one cycle. It's a little tragic, but it is what it is. Yeah, so even if you're like right on its tail, sometimes it'll just miss. And then time for the run will actually be on final hit. So we're going to have to do an extra lap here, unfortunately. So we'll get ready on time. Time. Okay, that's not too flat. Not bad.
GG.
A day ago, that would have been world record by 50 seconds. So that's pretty good. Okay, so now we're just going to verify real quick that we hundoed. You've completed the game 100%. You want to save the game? Nope, we're good.
Are you sure though?
I'm fairly certain that I don't need to waste any more space on my memory card than I already have for this game.
Oh no.
No, it's all good though. This was a lot of fun. So I hope you all enjoyed all the memes. I'm sorry I was just memeing the whole time. I didn't know what to say or do. I thought about it the other night. And I'm just how do I make this as enjoyable as possible? And I'm just what if I just meme post the entire time?
Honestly, just being yourself is the best to make it as enjoyable as possible like this. I had a fun time personally.
But yeah, thank you for having me, Shasta. So that was a pretty solid run. I can't be too upset about that.
Absolutely.
I want to. There's actually a good amount of people who run this game, so I want to shout out the Stuart 2 community. I want to shout out Ryan, Sour. I want to shout out all the other people who run the game as well. Nobody really runs Hundo, so I mean, you can fix that if you want, but any percent's pretty cool too. It's honestly a really accessible speedrun. It's pretty straightforward. So if you're looking for something on the PS1 side of things that's pretty not super hard to pick up. It takes obviously a little get used to platforming, but something that's relatively straightforward, not super glitch heavy. This is a great place to start. But yeah, I will probably hop off now because 8 minutes ahead. I'm sure y'all can make use of the time because of the tech issues, but yeah.
Actually, about that in this case, unfortunately, due to some last-minute conflicts, we won't be able to show Spider-Man in the end tonight.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna be. It's we're in the show a little earlier than intended, but it happens. Stuff happens in the end. That's okay.
Oh, beans.
Yeah. In that case, we do have a challenger approaching after this. We'll be going to a break for that very shortly, but I do need to do a few more announcements before we go. If you don't mind.
Go for it.
Yeah. So if you all know, GDQ 2024 is happening this year in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, from January 14th through the 21st. If you want more info on that, go to GameSoQuick.com. And over there includes the day registration and hotel booking as well too, if you're interested in actually attending the events. Registration is currently live for it, after all. Be sure also to check out the schedule at GameSoQuick.com/schedule. Let us know what you're looking forward to the most. Might be my run. I'm running Amazing Mirror 3-player co-op. That's gonna be a really cool one. But yeah, anyways.
Let's go, Bingo.
Heck yeah.
Let's go, Bingo.
Let's go, Bingo. Game it does have Bingo as well. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And Frame Fatalis has its next event, Frost Fatalis, coming up March 3rd through 10th of next year, 2024. Frost Fatalis 2024 run submissions and studio applications are now open for women/femmes and speedrunning. Use !FF in Twitch chat or go to GameSoQuick.com/Frame Fatalis for more info. Get submissions in before November 19th. And if you want to check out, if you missed any of our Hotfix shows, be sure to check out the VODs at youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. And if you're watching YouTube as well, be sure to press that like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. And go to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick to watch our live shows. I forgot all these throughout the entire thing. I was gonna read something during the last room, but stuff happens.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah.
I guess they'll say as well, if you enjoyed the run, twitch.tv/JaxlerRun, you can find me.
Absolutely follow Jaxler for sure.
Yeah. I don't want to be playing this game because I finally got the PBI I wanted, so I think I'm just gonna let it hang.
One final question: what do you get for 100% in this game?
An extra film clip. I think that's it.
Cool.
And you get this screen. So you do get not nothing, but you know.
The screen's very important. I get that.
It's so important.
Whew. But yeah, that being said, we're going to go into the break shortly, so stick around, enjoy the music, and after this challenger approaching with AF and Dangers. It'll be a fun one. So see y'all in a little bit. That's it for me, though. So you'll be seeing me in a little bit.